Hello crafters, in tonight's video we're going to be making a baby shower card, and we're going to be using the Silly Safari photopolymer stamp set. And for the background paper we're going to use the 2024 to 2026 6x6 inch designer series paper. Hi, I'm Joan and I created this video for Joan Simple Papercrafts, found right here on YouTube. If you're new here, I want to thank you for stopping by. If you're a returning guest, welcome back. Be sure to subscribe by clicking the subscribe button below. That way you won't miss when I post a video, which is typically once a week. Now give me a few seconds to turn the camera down and we'll get started. Here's that card we're going to be making tonight using the Silly Safari photopolymer stamp set and the Wonderful Thoughts congratulations sentiment. And we'll also use this shape, the third largest banner shape from the Stylish Shape dies. And then our designer series paper is from the 2024-2026 6x6 inch designer series paper. And there are 5 different colors and there are 4 designs for each color. Here's one, and that's the second. And here's the third and the fourth. We're going to get started by using our stamps first, and then we'll let those dry while we do the rest of the card. And I've got a piece of basic white cardstock cut at 3.5 inches by 8.5 inches or 9 centimeters by 21.6 centimeters, and I'm just using this as a scrap piece. So you could have used each one as individual. So let me go ahead and get my ink out here. I'll use that one first. We'll do the monkey and the tiger first. And I'm going to move it around on the block here so that not to make a divot inside here. Keeps our stamp pad a lot fresher. And I want to have it out here, sorry, because we're going to punch this out. So we're going to stamp it right in the middle here. And then we'll do our monkey next. And we're using our Memento ink in Tuxedo Black. And then we have our zebra here. I'm going to use the Stays On ink because that'll make it a lot darker, like those stripes really stand out. I'm going to move it around again. Back on here for right now. And we're going to clean our stamp blocks. This is going to have our Stampin' mist on there, and it's already been sprayed, so I don't want to add any more. So we're just going to scrub this off. And I'm going to stamp this one on here, Stays On Cleaner. I got quite a bit on there, so I'm just going to dab it off with this real quick, and then I'm going to put it in my scrubber. Okay, these are done, and I'm going to go ahead and punch these out right now. So I've got it where I want it to be, and then I'm going to press it down halfway, and then I'm going to commit. And do this one as well. Get it lined up where you want it to be. I'm going to have to cut this off because I need to get in there a lot closer. There, got it halfway down and commit. Let's see if I can't get this one. Nope. Halfway down and commit. And I thought I'd be able to stamp my leaves on here, but I don't think so. Let's see. Not quite. Let's get another piece of scrap paper. And I just realized I didn't have my microphone plugged in, so hopefully it's a little bit better now. And I've got another piece of scrap paper. This one's about 3 inches by 8.5 inches. And I'm going to stamp our leaves on here. We're going to use Summer Splash. And I'm going to stamp this one full strength and then one right next to it. And then we'll use this one here. There, and then we're going to scrub those off. And I think I'm done with this right now. Then we're going to bring in our animals here, and we're going to finish this by fussy cutting it. I'm going to just kind of divide this right here real quick like. And I'm just going to fussy cut. I want to go about 1/16 of an inch around the edge, leaving white. And so I'm just going to go all the way around real quickly, leaving that 1/16 of an inch for a border. Then I'll go back in and I'm going to do some cutouts so that you can see the leaves a little bit better in certain spots. So like right about here. And then I'm just going to go back this side. Right here. As you can see, I'm turning the paper and not the scissors. And I keep flipping it out of my hand. So there's one done. And this one we'll just do the same thing. So we're going to keep 1/16 of an inch for white around the leaf. That'll be the border. And then I'm turning the paper and not the scissors. Then we're just going to come in and notch these out here. That'll give the leaf a little more dimension. Then we're going to do these. We'll use our Stampin' Blends markers. And we're going to first use the light bubble bath. And we're going to use the nub. And we'll color in the nose of the zebra. Now, I use the stays on for this. So you don't want to go into the mark where I stamped, because it's going to smear. You see that? It's a little bit smeared right there. I'm going to try and push it back. Okay. That's all we need for that one. Then we're going to do our leopard. And we'll use our natural tone. I think it's this one. 800. And then this one I used the Memento ink. So it's okay if we go over the ink, it's not going to smear it. So that one's done. And then this one, we're going to use our, let's see, our natural tone. I think it was the 200. Got to get the colors out here and see what they are. This is a 400. And this is the 300. We're going to use the 400. Oops, sorry, this one. We're going to go all the way around. And I did go out of the lines here, so I'm going to just push that back in. And the number will probably work a little bit better. Yes, it's almost like an eraser. It is called a color lifter. So then we're going to take the face. We're going to use our light petal pink. And we'll do the whole face, minus the eyes. I think this is starting to dry out. And we want to do our cheeks with this light bubble bath. And we'll go over them with the dark petal pink. And then we'll do this tongue as well in a light bubble bath. So let those dry. And then we'll take our inside piece and we'll stamp that. And I'm lining it up here to make sure it's squared there. And we're going to use our giraffe, and we'll use the Memento Tuxedo Black for that. And I'm moving around the pad to make sure that it gets all covered, but doesn't leave a dip in the pad. I'm going to close this up because I don't want to get that on me. Yeah, I did the wrong side. This is the side that's wet because I can see that it has a raindrop up there. And then this is the dry side. There's a sunbeam in there. Okay, let's go ahead and get our ink here. Summer Splash. Need to get this back on here. It just lets me square it up easily if it's square on the paper. We're just going to go right here. There, that looks good. Okay, let's bring this back in. This is the wet side. Raindrop. Sunbeam. So now we can color in our giraffe. Let's open this up here. So we've got a little more texture on that. We're going to use our light petal pink first and just go all the way around on the giraffe's body. Then we're going to come in with our pink, that bubble bath, and we'll do the tongue. And we're going to do a little bit on the nose here, but we're going to come back with our dark petal pink and do some shading with that. You won't really see the pink part, it's just going to make it a little bit darker. Then we can take our natural 2000, I think, or 200. And that's the dark. We'll do some right up here. I don't know which one I use next. That looks a little bit too dark. Try this one. Yeah, I think that's what we use. So it's the natural 500 that we use next. And I'm going to use it along the back here as well. All right, we are done with our animals. So let's go and bring in our cardstock. We've got a large piece of Summer Splash, and we want to cut it down to 5.5 inches by 8.5 inches. So we're going to cut it this way. 5.5 inches is 14 centimeters. And then 8.5 is 21.6 centimeters. And we want to score it at 4.25 inches. And that's going to be 10.8 centimeters. And this is our trimmer. And this is my scoring blade, and this is our trimming blade. And I have a second trimming blade on here, but it's dull. And I'm using it for my glitter paper and my foils because I don't want to get this one dull. And I don't mind if this one gets duller. And then this will go out as far as 17.25 inches or 43, almost 44 centimeters. And these roll out of the way, but they stay in the track so that I can use them easily. And I am going to cut one more piece. This piece here, that's going to be cut at 4.125 inches by 5 3/8 inches. So we want 5 3/8 inches this way. And then 4.125 inches this way. 4.125 inches is 10.5 centimeters, and 5 3/8 is 13.7 centimeters. And one more we need. We're going to cut a little bit off from here because we need to do this banner here. So we're going to take a 2-inch strip. So let's fold and burnish this, and you want to fold it away from the score line. So this is where the dimple is, so I'm folding it away. And then we're just going to burnish it with our scoring tool. And I burnish it on both sides to give a nice crisp edge. Okay, so we can put this on the inside. And we're going to use our white glue, the multi-purpose glue found in our catalog. but I have it inside this glue gun. This isn't a Stampin' Up! Product. It's from My Sweet Petunia, but I have arthritis, so I have difficulty squeezing this bottle. This allows me to get a nice clean edge there. And I'm going to use my silicone mat here to keep my work surface clean. And I like to turn it this way. It allows me to get it lined up a lot easier. I'm leaving 1/8 of an inch for a border on all 4 sides. And that's going to be 0.3 centimeters. And then I'm just going to use my bone folder to get the glue bubbles out. Then we want to glue this down, and we'll leave 1/16 of an inch for a border on all 4 sides. Again, I'll turn it sideways. And it allows me to get that 1/16 of an inch. I can see it all 4 sides without sticking my head in there. And we're going to glue that down. Then we're going to glue these in next. There. And I'm going to see if I can't use my pen again to clean this up. Color lifter. That seemed to work. And I'm seeing that I don't have that color there right at the bottom, so I'm going to just bring in my marker. There. We're just going to glue these down right in place. And we should have these 3 we want to glue on. Only I'm not going to glue them on. I'm going to put them on with our glue dots. We'll put 2 glue dots on there. 1 toward the base and 1 up toward the top. Right about like that. That looks fantastic. And we'll do 1 underneath with this one. Same thing, 2 glue dots. Right about there. And let's do 1 more. And we'll cover it up right about here. All we have left to do is stamping this. Let's get our mini cut and emboss machine out here. So we're going to use the number 1 plate. Then we'll use our number 2 plate. Then we're going to use our paper with our die, and I've got a piece of Post-it label cover-up tape on there. It sticks securely and removes cleanly, and you can use it over and over. I really didn't need it, but I wanted to show you how we use it. The paper was wide enough, so I wouldn't have needed that. Then we're going to take this, and we're going to bring in our Stampin' Pierce mat again. And we're going to use our Versamark so that we can emboss this ink. And I'm using a one that's a little bit dirty. And I'm hoping that the white embossing powder will cover that up. And I'm going to take my little paintbrush and clean that off. And I'm going to take this. See if I can't just clean that off a little bit from there. There, and we'll cover this up because we don't want that to get blown all over the place. And I should have my hinge right here. So this is going to hang on to that so my fingers won't get burnt. I'm going to turn our hold on. Then we're going to put our dimensionals on this, and we're going to use our tiny ones. There are mini dimensionals, and I'm just going to put one on each corner. And make sure that this is okay to turn it over. I like to put a lot of dimensionals on to make sure that it doesn't go wonky when it goes through the rollers at the post office. Although this one I'm going to be giving to my niece at her baby shower, so I don't think I needed to do quite as many, but I'm in the habit, so there you go. Okay, let's see. We just want to tuck it in right about here. Make sure it's level there. Let's see, it looks better with this. Yep. We are done with this. This one and this one. I hope you liked this project as much as I did. As you can see, there are many sentiments you could use with this stamp set. Why don't you give it a try? Now, if you enjoyed today's video, would you do me two favors? Click the thumbs up emoji, which means you like it, and would you share it on social media with your crafting friends and pin it to Pinterest? These actions will help me to keep sharing my ideas with other crafters for free, and I'd really appreciate that. Be sure to hit the subscribe button below so you won't miss any future videos. If you have any questions, be sure to contact me. I'm here to help in any way that I can. If you don't have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, I'd love to be your demonstrator. Just reach out to me. If you'd like to place a Stampin' Up! Order or like a catalog, hop over to my website where you'll find the Shop Now button. To shop with me, you'll need to go to joanheberlein.stampinup.net. Mark your calendars. I'll be back next Sunday, October 4th at 7 p.m. Central Time, and we'll be doing something from the new mini catalog. I hope you'll be here to join me. Thanks so much for being here with me tonight. I look forward to next time. Bye for now, and don't forget to subscribe.